Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Zoom event. We have doctors Suzanne and Paul Phillips here on the line with us. And they're going to share with us tonight about how they are able to own their life. Now, Suzanne, I've known a little bit longer than Paul. They're both amazing people. But Suzanne is the wife to Paul, as I said, and a mother of 3 daughters, Sarah, Sophia, and Sabrina. And she's also a bonus mom to 2 daughters and a son, Grace, Audrey, and son Noah. And after finishing a BS in biochemistry and a DDS, which means Doctor of Dental Surgery, from the University of Pacific in San Francisco, Suzanne spent time in Finland researching migration patterns of oral cancer cells. Suzanne's maintained a private dental practice in San Ramon, California for the last 20 years. Sorry? Your line? Suzanne's excited to use this lifetime of health, education, and experience to motivate her new passion, a part-time business encouraging holistic health and wellness. And this business is allowing Suzanne to spend more time with her family and reduce her reliance on practicing dentistry every day out of financial necessity. Instead, she's working towards becoming free to choose dentistry as a couple days a week because she genuinely loves the work that she does. The power of choice has empowered her to offer the same opportunity to others and to be a role model for her daughters at home. And Suzanne's goal for 2019 is to walk the stage as NMD and be a Preventive Plus speaker, which I'm sure she will accomplish. And Dr. Paul Phillips, they have 2 separate practices, but they have 6 children together. And Paul has practiced dentistry in his own private dental practice in Sacramento, California for the last 27 years. And his scope of dentistry includes lasers, same-day porcelain crowns, implants, and so much more. And as a surgeon, he can speak to how important health and nutrition are to healthy patients' healing and recovery following dental surgery. I'm going to pass it over to you two. Take it away and share your golden nuggets.
Thank you so much, Mel, for that intro. And yeah, it's been such an amazing and incredible journey to share this with my husband, to say the least, is mind blowing. And I want to start just a little bit because if I segue right to the lifestyle and why I chose to do this business, you won't really fully understand where I came from, because before this company and before Juice Plus, I am, starting with, very importantly, I'm a mother of 3 daughters, and they are now older. I have 2 adult daughters and one who's 16, but when my story began, my eldest one, who's now 22 and just graduated college last Saturday, Sarah, she was actually 6 years old, and she was very, very ill for about 7 years in and out of hospitals. And so what our life looked like before Juice Plus and before this business opportunity was, me as a single mom running between my practice and my daughter and her health care and home, and trying to take care of my other 2 girls. So it was really very tough, very difficult, very painful in so many ways. Not just, physically for Sarah, physically and emotionally for all of us, but also financially. And I really didn't have enough money at the end of the month. I mean, it was, no matter how much I worked, I had to take an equal amount of time off to be at the hospital. And it was really, it was an eye opener, because I never thought that would be me. I've always been a hard worker. And when my eyes became open, 2 things happened. Number one, within months of starting on these products, my daughter started to get better and better, and improvements started to occur when no improvements had happened prior to that with medicine for about almost 7 years. So within 2 years, she was off her meds, and I was amazed and astounded how nutrition and a healthy lifestyle could actually shift us so radically. And then within that same amount of time, I didn't even realize that by sharing what was going on, because, you know, our healthcare is really building relationships, and anyone in life, whether you're in healthcare or not, you know, has either been a healthcare provider of some kind or a patient. And so I think what we appreciate the most about, you know, being a provider and or being on the patient side is the relationship. So it doesn't matter which side of it you're on, I think you can relate to it's a relationship, right? So how many of you agree that it's definitely a relationship? So that is exactly that feeling, like when you put your hand over your heart and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, having this connection to somebody, having them really understand where I'm at in my life, and having that ability now all of a sudden as a healthcare provider to be able to pass on the knowledge that I had, you know, in the health arena, that my mindset, how it shifted dramatically from, you know, I was kind of basically in my head for so long thinking that conventional traditional medicine, i.e. treatment and or surgery and drugs would be the solution. I shifted my mindset and I was able to really help patients in such a bigger way, because I was able to really help them financially. So when I asked them when they came in the office, how are you feeling? And they said, good, bad, not good, you know, whatever it was, I could really speak to that and really kind of help them in more ways than I was ever able to. And so I have shifted now my thinking, and now I've actually shifting, and I was thinking about this morning because I really wanted to really relay this message of owning your life. To me, owning your life is saying to yourself, I get to go to work, I get to serve my patients, I get to be a mom and come home and take care of my amazing family, and I have all this energy, and I even started my day today at 5:30 a.m. at a spin class. So like, I'm telling you, like, I get to versus I have to, right? So it's like, it's the get to mentality. I get to do it. Can you imagine, like, I just want you to say that either out loud to yourself right now or in your head, like, seriously, right? Isn't there a huge gap between have to and get to? But it's so easy. It's like, you know, the minute that you say, wow, I get to do something, I get to, and then finish the blank, whatever it is during your day, that is the own your life that I'm talking about. It's really making a decision and saying, how do I transition my life, and every decision that I make is going to be because I want to do that. It's not because I have to. And so that's when I started to realize that this company and this amazing product and this community, this tribe of people, this inspiring tribe of people, starting with the person who shared it with me, Lauren, who's not on the call today because she's on a mission trip with her son Quinn somewhere in Vietnam, probably, or arriving soon. And, you know, she's that type of person that shares exactly, you know, from her heart. She's a servant heart leader. For those of you that saw her speak at conference, she really, you know, blew our minds and blew the house down basically by sharing, you know, daring us to really think differently, daring us and challenging us. And so I'm just putting it out there that, like, what I've seen in my practice and the amount of patients that I've been able to help now, really having them understand inflammation and having them really take control of their health, and then really shift it now to a conversation where the patients that are like, gosh, I'm desperate, I don't have any money, I can't afford the x-rays, for instance, or I can't afford this treatment, and to really being able to take it outside of the office and say, you know what, I can help you, and really have a solution for them. It's really something that fills my heart, and it feels so good to be, you know, joining forces with so many people on this call, as well as people that are going to watch the recording, because I really want to be that person in this world who is inspiring leadership in others and inspiring the community to grow and grow and grow. Because I think that this is exactly the lifestyle that we want. It's a lifestyle of get to versus have to. And I really want to now turn it over to my husband. He's amazing, and he really is, like, he is the wind beneath my wings so many times. Like, he's my super cheerleader. We have very different personalities, but he comes from he's very scientific. I'm obviously the emotional one who gets very kind of intense about things. So I want to turn it over to Paul now so that he can share a little bit about his experience. And that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, my experience with Juice Plus was first as a customer. I don't know how many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and you know, I found it to be a very good product for myself. What I'm finding with just overall health benefits from it is pretty amazing. With the really an anti-inflammatory effect for myself and for my family and friends and patients that are taking it. The tooth or the periodontal health study is a very good study. It really kind of cements that, but really probably a much bigger picture is periodontal disease is just an autoimmune disorder. It's pretty simple, and it's in our periodontal attachment and everything is kind of a weak link in our system. And so when we start to see that breaking down, there's probably other breakdown going on elsewhere. And so it's a really good kind of view into the body of that patient. And more often than not, these patients don't have a great diet, and they don't have, you know, they're missing a lot from a nutritional standpoint. So if you can get them on this, and if it's anybody suffering from any type of autoimmune or inflammatory disorder, a lot of times their body's out of balance, and you just need to get them in balance, and this is a perfect way to do that. You know, we see the whole spectrum of people from very healthy to very unhealthy, and the unhealthy patients are very difficult to treat from everything. So, you know, we have patients that come in and say, I hate going to the dentist. I never get numb. And their body is probably very acidic. They're very out of balance. And so it just makes our job more difficult. But again, you know, that's such a small part of their life. If they got their body in check, their teeth would be better, but more importantly, their life would be better. Their health would be better. So for them as a whole, they just need to get their body and their system kind of more balanced, and this is a great way to do it. So you guys have a great opportunity to kind of bring that to them. And if you know, I've had people that I just say, just take this, and I don't know what their, kind of similar to Suzanne's story, I don't know what their issues are, but they'll come back usually about 3 months later and say, you know what, I've had eczema on my elbow that nothing has worked. I've tried everything under the sun, and the only thing I'm doing different is I'm taking Juice Plus, and it's totally gone. And I've had this for 30 years, and I've been taking steroids and everything under the sun for this, and it's gone. And there's no explanation other than Juice Plus. So little stories like that, if you really kind of listen to them, to the patients, and if you follow up with them at about 90 to 120 days, you're going to find a million of those stories of oh, I had this and now it's gone, or I was taking like a Prilosec, like for heartburn, gone, I don't need that anymore. So there's a lot of things that you'll find that will take care of itself. Their body will take care of themselves once they get everything kind of in balance. The one thing I'd like to say about the business itself is, you know, being in dentistry for 27 years, I've been to, I don't want to say many hundreds of conferences, and our conferences for dental, they're usually run between, it can be $2,000, it can be, you know, up to $5,000 for a weekend of, you know, of learning or conference. And I've never been to a conference like your guys' conference. It is the most wonderful group of people. They are, you know, I love when Suzanne goes to conference because she always comes back really motivated and really in a great mood. And she's been around all you guys, and she just, you know, it makes her day and makes her year. I mean, my conferences, sometimes I'm looking, I really don't want to go do that, but I really have to. she's never said that about a Juice Plus conference. It's always, oh my gosh, conference is in October. I can't believe we have to wait till October. So, and that's the first thing that gets on the calendar, is the conferences. So, I thank you guys for being great friends to her, and the conferences that I've been able to attend too. It's just a great time and a great atmosphere, and you have so many people that are wanting you guys to succeed. There's no I don't know, competition or negativity. It's just a great atmosphere. So
Awesome. So I wanted to speak a little bit. So what we've shared so far is a little bit about the Own Your Life, but I think we pretty much understand that this amazing product, like our belief in the product, is like bar none. I mean, it's like 110%. And where I shifted my mindset in terms of the business opportunity was where I had this extra account that my Juice Plus money was going into. And before Paul and I were married, so we have a blended family. So I was a single mom for almost 6 years, close 5+ years, and it was a really tough time. I mean, having 3 daughters at those ages, especially with one of them sick, it was really, really a tough time. And I didn't have anyone else to support me. I didn't have their dad supporting me. I was actually supporting him. So long story short, I if it wasn't for my extra money of Juice Plus coming in, and once again, this was just because I was sharing it with people. I was sharing the success stories. I was sharing, what was different in our lifestyle on the health perspective, and this money was coming in. And it literally clicked with me because I was making money even when I was in the hospital with my daughter. I was making money even on the days that I had to take off to go and watch one of my other daughters have a play or a soccer tournament. So I really kind of woke up to what the idea was of residual income and being able to, do everything in my life and not have to sacrifice, and trade time for dollars if I didn't have to. And so that's kind of another conversation I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned, because I didn't understand it for the longest time, and I consider myself pretty well educated, but I couldn't wrap my head around something that Manon likes to say all the time. I couldn't wrap my highly educated brain around this opportunity. And when I finally did, because I went to conference and I started to see the leaders in our company, starting with our fearless leader, Lauren, and I started to, get introduced to lots of others in our country, but also in, abroad, in Italy and in UK and in Australia, and, you name it. And I loved the lifestyle. I loved the type of person that they were being. And I love that kind of choice to lead your life the way you wanted to lead it. So, I definitely, there's not a day that will go by that our family will not be taking Juice Plus. So we're going to be we're lifers basically. But I also am now super excited, super just like over the top about my goals with my business, and I've actually scaled down my practice days because I am building my business, and I am not afraid anymore of sharing this opportunity with patients, with friends, with whoever crosses my path, because I get to do this business. I feel so honored and blessed that I said yes to this business 8 years ago, and like I said, it took me several years to figure out that this is something that I can actually build and that I can be really good at. And I just want to say to all of you on the line and those of you listening to the recording that this can be you too, and it just takes some commitment and some consistency every day. And also making a business plan and going for it, because it can happen. And like Lauren said to us on stage, I dare you. And so I took that dare and I'm running with it. So I wanted to kind of wrap it up there, unless Paul has something else to finish up with. And we definitely want to answer questions if anybody has any questions at all.
Well, I have a question.
I don't have the glasses on.
So you can share, wait
Hi,
for us to share.
Suzanne, I have a question for you.
Sure.
This is Roxy from Oregon.
Hi, Roxy.
Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You were very kind and shared some great information that I was able to share with a local dentist here in my town. But I know it takes sometimes many exposures to
Right.
someone in the medical profession to see that big picture with that.
Right.
I was just wondering if there were certain follow-ups that you would recommend that we do when speaking with dental professionals.
You know, that's a good question. I think that the most important thing is do not hesitate. I've been really using my car, by the way, as a training university. And so I've been listening to GoPro, especially CD number 2, I think it's chapter 5, on really inviting. And so I think what we do a lot of times, many of us, we're not as bold as we need to be, and dentists are very. And I'm kind of making a big global statement, and chime in for sure. But like dentists are definitely type C, kind of detail-oriented, laser-focused people. So like unless you're really clear and direct about the business opportunity, and this is what, you know, it's like you can start the conversation any which way, but you definitely want to kind of focus on, this is what I really admire and respect about you, and this is what I see. And this is why I think that this business would be something that you would be interested in, especially because it's the type of business that you are already building relationships, and this is a relationship business. And so I want to just share with you that this could be another bucket, you know, that you could then assign to, whether it's your bucket of retirement, your bucket of, you know, travel and leisure, your bucket of, these are your hobbies that you want to get done. This is your maybe philanthropic bucket, you know, whatever it is. You know, a lot of dentists, you know, unlike, there's not every healthcare profession is their own entrepreneur, but I would say for the most part, unless they're part of a corporation, they are entrepreneurs and they own their own practice. So they are business minded. So I would say going strong with the business. Now, if you would have talked to me like 3 or 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had the same answer, but I definitely think that you're going to get more interest if you really make it clear that this is a business, and it's a very positive and powerful business, and the leaders in this company are doing quite well, and it's already kind of a no-brainer for dentists because they're building relationships every single day.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. I don't know if there's any other.
Dentists are hard people to deal with, though. So you'll just like Suzanne said, if you tell them, you know, you are a very I forget the wording you used, you know you're a very caring individual, you care about your patients, you care about your family. This is another way of you could achieve that is by you know, first, you know, maybe just taking this product. It's such a, you know, you can explain what you found, what your story is, and just see if you can get them on the product first. Dentists are not going to just we're going to research the crap out of things, and you know, 6 months later, you know, we've got to research everything and look at it ourselves. So we're not the quickest to react for the most part. So definitely don't take it personal, but you know, make it about them taking care of themselves and their patients. You know, most of us have neck and back problems and stuff that all can be helped with taking Juice Plus. So maybe start with them personally, you know, how, you know, and I would probably say, you know, and this could also help your patients, but I think you would really benefit from it yourself. And then, you know, if you can get them on it for 90 days, 120 days, then maybe have that follow up with them and say, hey, how's it going? You know, and they're either going to say, you know what, I don't really notice a difference, or they're going to say, you know what, my neck and my back have been killing me for 6 years and they're feeling much better. You know, thank you. And then you kind of have an in right there.
All right. If there are any other questions?
Yes.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi. Thank you so much for a great call. And nice to meet you because I haven't had the chance to meet you yet. Yeah, just a question as a follow-up in the approach. I understand both parts about making it clear it's a business, but also about the caring and starting with them. But as you mentioned, they will research anyway. Like, what would you bring maybe at first? Like, I know we can print some of the research, or I don't know, what would be kind of that one?
Yeah, this is really, when this came out, I was like, I couldn't get my hands on it quick enough because, this is a really great one to kind of bring to the conversation for sure.
Okay.
And then of course a research study that you think may apply to them.
So yeah, so in the dental world, there's the periodontal research study, which it's a long study. So no, you're not going to get a dentist to read them, but you can show them the synopsis there. Then they did the wisdom tooth study, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if it's
Yeah, I couldn't actually find that for the call tonight, but
so I know they did the study, but maybe it's not published yet.
Okay.
So there are studies out there, but what you could say is this is the most studied. Is it the most studied medication or the most studied supplement in the world?
It's the most studied product in the world.
Studied nutritional product.
Nutritional. Nutraceutical.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and as far as I know, there's never been a negative study that came out of all those studies. I forget they do have a ranking system, and it's ranked way up above what would make something a legitimate product.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Fabian, if it's a little helpful, can I interject on that?
Sure.
So basically the ranking, Juice Plus is somewhere in 100 and something, like 109, and a valid study or something would be somebody who is just ranked like even in 3, 4, 5. So it's unbelievable that we're so highly ranked because of all the studies that we have. And that was something I learned from Gordon Hester.
I think I saw that it was 116.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that was the latest number at the last conference. Yeah.
In my public health doctoral program, they actually had some of the Juice Plus studies were the ones cited.
Cool.
So that was exciting to have something completely unrelated to Juice Plus, and yet Juice Plus studies popped up when I was looking for different items. So it's
Awesome.
definitely valid. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like what you were saying from our bank call last week, if you heard that, the bank system of judging or kind of evaluating your customer, that being the super nurturers as dentists, that we would be doing ourselves a disservice if you didn't share Juice Plus with them. So it just
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Terry. That's something that I definitely really not just feel that I know that it's my responsibility to share what I know about Juice Plus as a product and also Juice Plus as a business. So I definitely agree with you. Thank you for mentioning that.
great call. Thank you.
Absolutely. Did you have something on that?
Hey, Suzanne, it's Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, good question, Roxy. Way to go. I want to thank you both very much. It's always helpful. One of the things that I did when I have talked to dentists and so forth, I brought a copy of that study that was done in the periodontic journal.
Mm-hmm.
And they all appreciated that very much. Like, I do like the little research binder too, and I think it's good, I agree. But for them specifically, and when they read it and realized what a quality study it was, they were very appreciative. So if I was going to a dentist, dental hygienist, anybody like that, I'd make a copy of that study and bring it with. Because I think it's easier for them to hold it in their hands and instead of here, look this up online or whatnot. So, and dentists are you guys are tough. You're a tough crowd to crack, but I think as we come at this with, hey, I feel strong about this, and I know you're going to love it too. Most of the people I've talked to have been very appreciative. So
Yeah.
that's the only other little thing I would do.
Awesome.
And thanks so much for your guys' info. It's always good to.
I would say one thing I just thought of when you were speaking, Kate, was that that in our industry, and I don't think we're alone, I think it's probably any industry, but our industry for sure is very, very aware of adding value. It's like, how can we add value compared to, not a competition necessarily, but it's like, how can we add value? How can we be, just that much better? And it's like a constant, we call it CANI, constant and never ending improvement. So it's like, how do we improve, our relationship, what we're having to offer? And I say definitely, the arena of health and nutrition and lifestyle and the conversation for sure is a huge value add.
And one thing to consider too, especially dentists in their, let's say 60s, pushing 70 maybe, they're kind of looking for a way out of dentistry as well. And so this might be an opportunity for them that really they hadn't thought of. So again, I think you're going to have a more receptive audience if you can get them on the product first. But all dentists, we can't do it forever, and I think it's a great segue for a lot of people that want to kind of slowly go into retirement that they probably haven't thought of, and you might talk to 100 dentists and only get a couple that would jump on board, but you still owe it to them and yourselves to try, and I would be I'm definitely happy that I did. So
All
that's
right.
all I have to say.
Thank you. All right. Well, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I think those were awesome questions, and yeah. Anybody else? If not, I think that's a wrap.
Suzanne and Paul, this is Andres. Just very quick comment. I really appreciate how you guys have weaved, from your story, how you presented it very clearly, how you gave it, how you gave us, who are kind of quote unquote civilians, an insight to what doctors, what doctors live through. Because for the majority of my life, I thought a doctor has it all made, and they don't have any problems with finances. They drive nice cars. They are happy with what they do. They basically sit there and just point, and everyone else does their work. That's the perception that we get. What's that?
That's an orthodontist.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know, but you understand that even though it's an orthodontist, it doesn't really like, we don't necessarily know what the difference between one and the other. I mean, maybe I'm the only one on this call who has been completely blind to the differences in regards to in regards to the field of dentistry, but it's really compelling to hear a human side of what you do, and certainly compelling when you talk about, we can talk about the studies, and they're always really interesting, but to know that you're going to a dentist and that you can actually offer and impact their life by adding value to them is really a game changer and an aha moment for at least for me. I shied away from from dentists. I have several dentists in my family because I never thought that I could add anything. I couldn't bring anything of value to the table. I mean, yeah, I can talk about Juice Plus and the benefits of the studies about how gum health improves. I've been I've witnessed health radical in me, but we take it for granted that perhaps on the other side there is plenty of things going. I didn't know, for example, that the back hurts, the neck hurts, of course, because you're leaning on top of the patient all the time. But we take that for granted, and so your insight, and especially the way that you presented it, to me was very enlightening and very inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you, Andres.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure sharing with you guys.
Thank you guys so much. My daughter graduates from dental hygiene school in 4.5 weeks, and I can't wait to get in front of more dentists.
Awesome.
What part of Oregon are you in?
About an hour outside of Portland.
Cool.
So, yep.
Awesome. Congratulations to you and your daughter.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all this great information.
Roxy, side note, you can start recording with Roxy. I'm actually going up to Portland this Thursday.
Thank you.
So I'll be there till Monday. So let's touch base.
Sounds great.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good night.
Suzanne, Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.